Now, NPP now, and I almost and throw, and they are planting lies in the system. Almost say NDC by Zipline, almost go no, and you all know Zipline, the medical emergency drone services. Almost say NDC by Zipline, Yejuma. And I know you know, we all know how dear the Zipline is to the NPP because so beside NPP say in 8 years, you know, and dear then Namuya de Ghana, 3 things. Niaka inabe TFE. Number 1. Don't call me free senior high school policy. Enya nia mampeni Mahama de baya na Aboagye Ghana foro. Enya nia won de baya enam so nti wasiwe enkwada na fail no. That is the don't call me free senior high school system. The infamous don't call me system. Number 2 Zipline. Number 3 mother and baby care Auntie Becky. And as Auntie Rebecca. So you have 3 things with you who that is why somewhere last year when the former Ashanti regional minister Osemensa went on Oyiripa TV, Yebisa on the Semonia 8 years, you guys still want to continue to break the 8 to go beyond the 8-year period. And dear this from Kona Mayintia Asantemai Ejinaso and Tuaba Namusantuasua, he made mention of 3 things he are making. Mother and baby care Auntie Becky, free senior high school don't come and Zipline. So we all know how dear the Zipline is to the NPP. So say no strategy afani said they are going around lying to the people say NDC by Zipline Yejuma without telling them the reason why it is Zipline or more suspended. Because they want to sell some message. Fanto Ghana for dream say yan can't say NDC ba adibia ye bia no won be say no on say ye catch them no ampa on ba Zipline Yejuma. It's a lie. Tie. Now Miracles Aboagye ko share NDC communicator bia your friend Hamza Suhuyini on Air Channel 1 TV. As usual, Miracles got now say the brofo sem and amampani Mahama emanintie ni nkofo the help minister emanintie no NDC and Zipline on Yejuma nipa be wuni ade keka nsem bebre na ye drew NDC ni no so no or check the reason why tia Zipline no say no or are suspended the Zipline services. And I'll further break it down for the understanding of the layman on the street. Enti yeni kan yemfa Miracles Aboagye enu munsem. Na se wiya ye Hamza nso ekase wiya the me chairman I'll throw more light on near Hamza ekaye no. Yenti Miracles.
I am begging the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Mr. President, do not listen to your health minister. Do not listen to what your party people are saying. Do not endanger the lives of your citizens. Do not risk it simply because of propaganda, because of politics, and probably because of procurement interest. And now listen. We need to establish certain facts. And of all the things you will discuss this month, trust me, none is as important as Zipline.
Really?
Because if you understand what Zipline is and understand what Zipline does, you would realize that it is something that we should not even be discussing it and treating it the manner in which we are right now. First of all, I hear the conversations and I can easily point out the absolute ignorance of what really Zipline is by a lot of the people making the commentary. People assume Zipline is just a substitute for unavailability of hospitals and health facilities. People assume Zipline is a substitute or just an alternative for unavailability of drugs in these hospitals. And so I hear people make the argument of if the drugs were available, why would we need Zipline? Instead of having Zipline, why don't you build hospitals? Why don't you? And that straight away tells me that, honestly, sincerely, they do not understand. And for me, I think that one of the responsibilities we have is to also make sure that it is explained very well so that people can make informed, commentary about it. I've heard a lot of people, and clearly you can tell. Because immediately you are discussing Zipline and you talk about building hospitals, you talk about unavailability of or supply of drugs, and I know you don't understand what Zipline does.
Now already, kind of Oriata ama yati says so share will be a otasha at a dear white. You're very careful. Because most of them are criminals hiding behind white. Miracles are in white. As a crown. Now, so you can na yentronia zani busrebuka. Yet just a means of tarnishing the image of the NDC government. And I'll tell you why. Before that, yentie emwaya Hamza the man. Miracles say braggy. And a Mahama maninti any health minister. And at the end, Ghanaians will die. Why Zipline at the end, the most important. You see, because in 8 years, if a government stays in power for 8 good years, and you ask them, say, what are your achievements? And the only thing they can tell you, three. Nyaka United TFE says Zipline and Rebecca 1 block will be. Any simple drone services are. It tells you the government was a terrible one. Etien cheche mua Hamza NDC communicator also Eddie Amaye Ghana for you now me chairman let me expatiate bro ba expatiate the whole thing in depth na Ghana for you now mountain ya AC na se yentie Hamza.
Again, we need to go back to the foundational pillars of this particular service. When you build an institution out of lies, these are some of the challenges time will reveal. Somewhere in 2019, we're all in this country, when His Excellency Dr. Mahama Baumia indicated to us that Zipline was not going to cost the state a dime. Have you forgotten? That was what Dr. Mahama Baumia told us.
In fact, the former health minister is captured in the Hansard, saying same in parliament.
Absolutely. So what changed? So what was the policy rationale behind such an introduction? Or it was just another way of deceiving the good people of this country by these guys? So these are the critical questions we should ask. And so if a government comes into office, a new government comes into office, it is only proper for us to actually even attempt to understand whether indeed in the first place Ghana needed to bear any cost in relation to that, considering the fact that the vice president at the time told us that we're not supposed to bear any cost, and the health minister. What has changed? You simply just want us to continue paying arrears that you accumulated because you are NPP. We will not do that. No responsible government will do that. And these are the critical issues we are talking about. The same health minister under them, Kweku Ajimamenu, had cause somewhere in 2023 to chide, to criticize health professionals in the system, if you remember. According to him, he claimed they were abusing the Zipline services and flying medicines like paracetamol. And that they needed to be careful. This was in 2023. And that they were abusing the services. And that Zipline was flying medical supplies that they shouldn't be supplying.
Because those are non-critical.
Those are non-critical. These were his words. So what kind of mechanisms did they put in place? Remember, the more Zipline flies, the more we pay them. So how were we monitoring these supplies of Zipline? What kind of infrastructure did they have in place to ensure that there was value for money? Absolutely none. And a new responsible government has come into office, and you want us to continue in that trajectory of taking things for granted. We will not do that.
Now, Hamza Kasa, these are the words of Hamza, but Hamza was stating the facts. Not like these are his words cooked up from somewhere. No, he was only stating the facts. You can do your research. These are the facts. Hamza say, when the NPP were telling us about Zipline, Baumia made it emphatically clear to Ghana for now said the Zipline was not going to cost Ghanaians a penny. Baumia said this emphatically, say Ghanaians were not going to pay for the Zipline. A service bia ebe bua as a humanitarian service bia ebe bua Ghana for now. Ebe we actually no. You're finding out to say Ghanaians were paying for it. Huge sums of money. Then again, NPP Baumia catch Ghana for say the Zipline was only meant for emergency medical services, supplies. Many medical person, so I can't mention too much. But let me give you a few. For example, blood, moja, say bia, accident BSc. Now you hear blood transfusion. The blood of A plus, A negative, B plus, B1, 0 positive, O positive, D, those blood group no. And then 0 O, sorry. You get a picture. Say you hear moja. In case of emergency, then the Zipline will come in. Now, so a son say, now call free person change now. Ya dear, among yourself now you fly check on a phone 9 and we say, hey, Zipline, I can know, hey, NPP Zipline, you want it. These people were now abusing that Zipline service, flying things which were not emergency stuff like ABR, junction wallet, plaster, Biko, para, code. Sanima when nana and call free the drones air fly because they wanted you to see the Zipline in the sky and say NPP are buying their ban. And Esan say, na Ghana force a tria kabao me try and trust na ye TNT ema e kabeda ho. Eti NDC abanya inimu nyansa ben. The first thing they had to do was to suspend the program. Clear all the debts. Ekana NPP building good hole in the name of Zipline SN Ghana for Komuno. The NDC had to suspend the program, clear the debt before they can go back to it and see how efficiently Ghanaians will be able to utilize the Zipline. T. NDC abayaba and Kofu Chabon said the Zipline was free. Now, so NDC abayaba, they found out to say Ghanaians were paying huge sums of money for every a drone flown. Drone bia and Kofu be fly bia. Ye catch them musika na Ghana for chia a hoping sum of money. Ama e ka abego ena essence na Kofu no. They were overusing the drone to do things and not save you. And who here say, you may use drone to say, yes, any paracetamol. Those are not emergency drugs. But these people were flying everything flyable. Listen, that's the sentence. These people were flying everything because they wanted you to see the drones in the sky and point to say, hey, drone because of NPP. Just to get vote in T. Omo a broker, a fly drones no anyhow. A broker go ho. Eti mampani Mahama by they did an audit. Anambwa sane kano auditing. And mampani Mahama said no. Ekwanya ye nam so a ye use drone over the years and ye sustainable why. It is sad there. Pamlo Chamdo and Kofi a broker in the name of free medical services. Yen suspended the service for now. Yen tia canon we now fee. Yen is our service providers no entnasi. Now yen go into a new agreement. Senebeya in that new agreement, you know, and more Ghana worker. Ye be use the service for which it was, made, and I say it was created only for emergency medical services, nothing more than that. Senebeya more abai kabium. NDC ye we ya na enkwase afuenam. Say hey yanka. Say NDC buy Zipline ye dwuma and na NDC egu no. And as Zipline no yanka chemo say NDC buy everything we did bia no won be say no. Na samuti ya emuncheche munyani o. Ti samuti Seba omia NPP for say Miracles Aboagye say NDC assess Zipline ya na emu nchechire mu nyina niye Etiminua, Sabio, the one Messi Akama Watiasi, a NPP ne D4, and answer NDC. In this case, no, Nyansani Pierre di Muse, NPP ne D4. Because I'm going free Abribian, one broker, na NDC Abitria. That has been the norm. Abribiano, Samudi Tumima NPP, one broker, a boka guho, na NDC Abitria, and at all. Mampani Mahama Trevi, a baba yejuma sesia, a yejuma crasi sia po amikase. And a car, and confree the same Ghana phone now home, Mampani Mahama has paid almost more than half. Bekele Nyaka in less than 1 year. It is a NDC aba. Now say they want the Zipline to work the way it was intended. So the beya enkofa a car MSN Ghana for kumua. Then you turn around and lie to the people, say NDC buy or more assess Zipline. What's your for? Timiriano, yen shining so. Now Emma will be a fan tro Friday politics be a better than Mosema drink. And Adam will say NDC assess Zipline be there be. There's nothing like that. And this is the complete breakdown. Aha. And I'm a CBD and the chairman Freemind. The rest of your time, but I'll see you in my next video. Makram.